Hi, I'm Sharma Curran with Thai Healing Massage Academy. Welcome to another question and answer session about Thai massage topics. Today's topic is, what do you do if a stretch is too much or too strong for a client? You might have heard that many times Thai massage has a reputation of being a very strong or even painful modality, and today we'll do away with that myth. So let's say you do a certain stretch and the client obviously can't handle it. So what do? So the solution is quite easy. Actually, there are 5 different things that you can do. Let me show you a couple stretches that can easily be too strong. Now, you don't have to do all stretches, everything in Thai massage full power. Yes, of course, if you do that on everyone, it will be painful, but you don't have to do that. So let me show you all the ways how you can deal with that. So here is one stretch, which is often quite strong. It's a hamstring stretch. Goes like this. And even in her case, I can tell I cannot lift this leg very high, so the angle is like a right angle. It doesn't go any further because her hamstrings are pretty tight. So if you really push that stretch, yes, of course, it would be painful. So that's one thing. The other stretch that I wanted to show you is this one. And you push down with the idea to bring the knee to the floor. It's a very strong stretch for the quadriceps muscles, and it really impacts the knee, and it's very easy to cause pain with a stretch. Not many people can handle that. All right, so what is the first thing you can do? Very easy, you just skip it. You don't have to do every technique, every stretch on everyone. There are so many stretches in Thai massage, you couldn't fit them all into one session if you tried. So if a stretch is too much or too strong for a client, the first thing you can do, method number 1, is simply to skip it, and there is nothing wrong with that. Let's move on to method number 2, and this is also very simple. You just lighten up. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's go back to the stretch I showed you before, the hamstring stretch. So normally the stretch is done by pushing the lower leg forward, which stretches the hamstring muscles. Part of the stretch is also that you work with your left hand on the hamstrings muscles. So now, instead of focusing on the stretch by pushing the leg forward, you just focus on the left hand, which works the hamstrings muscles, and you do that primarily, and you push the leg forward, but just a little bit. So now you just change the nature of the stretch from one which is mostly a stretch to one which is mostly working on the muscle, and you combine it with a very gentle stretch, like this. And the other example that I showed you before is this stretch here. So now the goal should not be to bring the knee all the way down to the floor. So instead of trying to push down, you hold the knee up with the left hand and you stabilize it so it cannot go all the way down, and you just use the right hand to lean down on the quadriceps muscle or muscles. So now you don't have an intense stretch anymore. You turned it into a very light, gentle stretch, which basically has the same effect. It's just not strong and not painful. So these are already 2 modifications: skip it or lighten up. Here is method number 3. Slow down and use the 1 to 10 method. Let's go back to the same stretch and I'll show you. Any stretch, if you do it quickly, rapidly, can easily cause pain. It's like a little bit of a shock to the system if you're not very flexible, if you're not used to it. And if you do it rapidly, it causes pain very easily. But if you just slow down, in other words, you lean in a little bit with the left hand and slowly move the leg forward. Now it allows the muscle to get used to it, and to let go. If you do it rapidly, the muscle will likely tense up and resist it if you're stiff. But if you just do it slowly, the muscle won't get like a shock treatment, but it can open up and let go. At the same time, you ask your client, how does this feel on a scale from 1 to 10? Meaning that 1, the client doesn't feel anything, 10 means excruciating pain. So if the client says this is a 2, then you know you can go further. If the client says it's a 5, you can go a little bit further. If it gets to a 7 or an 8, you know how to stop. So in this way you can gauge it exactly, and there's no risk that it becomes too painful because you slow down and you ask the right questions. Here is method number 4. Most stretches in Thai massage can be converted into rocking motions. Now that's not so much the case in the traditional Thai massage system, which you can learn in most Thai massage schools, but it is the case in my style because I pioneered rocking in Thai massage, and I've created an entire system which I call Thai rocking massage. So I can take almost any stretch and turn it into a rocking motion, and many times that's the solution. For example, let's go back to this stretch which I showed you, where you push the knee down, which can be very painful. So now you just modify it by placing the hand under the hip, and you push down a little bit with the left hand, and you pull up a little bit with the right hand, and now you do gentle rocking. So the left hand is pushing down, the right hand is pulling up. Now you don't have this linear, direct stretch like this anymore, but you have a much more gentle rocking motion. In many cases, that's the solution. The stretch is too strong, turn it into a rocking motion, and it will be much more gentle and also more effective, because now the client doesn't feel pain and doesn't feel the need to resist. And here is method number 5. So let's say the stretch that I showed you previously, which affects the quadriceps muscles, and you just notice the client is very stiff, it's very uncomfortable, and you notice this reaction and it's just not right. So in that case, you don't do the stretch, but it's not that you just totally skip it, but instead you work on the muscle that is affected in the stretch. So both stretches that I showed you, both examples, they work on the thigh, one on the quadriceps muscles and the other one on the hamstrings muscles. So let's say the last one that I showed you in method number 4, you realize that the quadriceps muscles are just, they can't handle it. So forget about the stretch and instead work on the muscle directly. So you could do that like this, for example. Or you can use your forearm. So now the whole idea is that you loosen up the muscle, and maybe after you do that for a while or over the course of a few sessions, the muscle will be able to handle the stretch. But many times if someone is too stiff or a new client, you can't go directly into some of the stronger stretches in Thai massage. You have to prepare the client first by working on the muscles. So now you have 5 ways how you can deal with this situation. If a stretch is too strong, the client can't handle it, what do you do? So now you know many things that you can do, and there is no reason ever that your client say, oh, Thai massage is too strong or too painful for me, because you know how to handle it.